Patuloy po ang sagupaan dito sa Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow in partnership with San Miguel Beer. And we are here in Barangay Mauay Executive Sports Complex sa Mandaluyong. And before we turn you over to our ring announcer Bobby Mondahar, let's give you a rundown on this upcoming fight. Albino versus Mado. Albino from the Peñalosa Boxing Gym. Si Mado naman po from Kambal Kamao Boxing Gym in Lipa, Batangas. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Stats of these two fighters. Teenager po si Albino, 24 years old na po si Mado. Albino with a big height advantage, plus 4 inches po siya, no? Sa kanyang height. And sa reach naman, Mado with a 2-inch reach advantage. Both of them are right-handers. At the birthplace po ni Mado from Palawan, Albino from Davao City. Okay, let's turn it over now to ring announcer Bobby Mondahar for the official intros.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter coming out of the dugout, Jelly Boy Mado. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter coming out of the dugout, Kenneth Albino. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow here at Barangay Mauay Executive Sports Complex, Mandaluyong City, in partnership with San Miguel Beer, in coordination with Barangay Chairman Bernie Evangelista, of course, Mayor Benjamin Abalos. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 106.9 pounds. He has a record of 1 win, no loss. Fighting out of Kambal Kamao Boxing Gym, Lipa, Batangas. Ladies and gentlemen, Jelly Boy Mado. Mado. Right across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 109 pounds. He has a record of 1 win, 1 loss. Fighting out of Peñalosa Boxing Gym, Libis, Quezon City. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Albino. Albino. Judges at ringside will be Sammy Bernabe, Edgardo Nobleza, and Silvestre Abainza. Third man in the ring, referee Gerald Basig. This will be 4 rounds of professional boxing.
Okay. Boxer. Okay, bawal ang headbutt, bawal suntukan dito, bawal ang low blow. Okay, clean fight lang tayo. Good luck sa inyo dalawa. Touch gloves. Okay, back to your corner.
Okay, round number 1 underway. Kenneth Albino, Jelly Boy Mado.
Hindi, yung camera. Pera mo na camera mo, ha?
Okay, bumabomba po si Albino. Albino in the red trunks. At si Mado po is the one in the multicolored trunks. Against si Albino with a height advantage, he's 5'7", at si Mado po is 5'3". Third man in the ring is Gerald Basig. So far, fights proceeding in spurts. Ito po si Albino, overpowering his opponent. And he's moving closer and closer. Record po ni Albino is 1-1. But he's coming up a loss to Mark Sabang. And in his first fight, that was in July of 2022. He won over Jerwin Meneses. Albino looking to outsize ang kanyang opponent na si Jelly Boy. And there it is. A knockdown scored right in the very first round. It's just too big and too strong for Jelly Boy Mado. And Kenneth Albino scoring a knockdown in the very first round. Picture perfect shot. Albino now moving in for the kill. A little wild in his punches. And Jelly Boy connecting with a 1-2 combination. Left jab scored by Albino. A counter right hand coming from Mado. But a big knockdown scored here by Albino right in the very first round. Albino scoring with the left hand once more. That shook up Mado. Mado looks a little shaken up as he goes back to his corner. That was a big left hand scored by Albino just at the sound of the bell. Let's watch the punch of the round. Round number 1. Ito po. Left hand scored there by Albino. And that brought down Mado. Watch it again here. First a shot to the body and then a beautiful left hook to the face. Down goes Mado. What started that, of course, was a big right hand to the midsection that opened up the defense, brought down the hands of Mado, opening himself up for a shot by Albino. So a knockdown has been scored in the first round. And towards the end of round number 1, nakita po natin there was a left hand that was scored by Albino, rocked Mado. I thought he was going to go down a second time. Okay, round number 2. Again, we notice the size ni Albino, laki niya, no? That 4-inch reach advantage. He's looking down on his opponent. There's another shot scored there by Albino, but before that, nakapasok ng isang magandang suntok din si Mado. Both these fighters getting their legs in. There's a left hand scored by Mado, and then a shot there coming from Albino. Now Mado is on the defensive. Mado can't seem to get through the defensive stance ni Albino. Mado's got to pressure. He's got to move in. Throw a lot of punch, throw a lot of bombs and put Albino on the defensive. Kung hindi, siya magiging punching bag dito. Again, that size advantage and the strength advantage ni Albino as he pours it on. Nandun sa may bandang lugid si Mado, but he turns around and gets away from the ropes. Kenneth Albino from Davao City. And he's from the Peñalosa Gym in Libis, Quezon City. Left hand coming from Mado. Albino's hands are down. And for Mado, that's an invitation for him to come in. Pasukin niya si Albino. Gotta put some pressure. Put his head on his chest. At si Albino naman, umaabang. He's looking for the right opening to be able to throw his right hand. Pero yung kaliwa niya ang deadly eh. Yan ang nagpabagsak kay Mado in round number 1. Albino throwing that left hand as a jab. but he's looking to unload that right hand. But Mado has to be careful. That left hand of Albino is lethal. Missing with the left jab is Albino. Action in the middle of the ring. Here's Mado with a shot, a right hand. Mado looking to counter. Oh, right hand scored there by Albino. And that rocked Mado. Left hand again staggered Mado. He's taking a lot of punishment from Kenneth Albino. Round 2 coming to a close. And that's it. Another good round there for Kenneth Albino. Scored a knockdown in round number 1. That was a 10-8 round para sa kanya. And then round number 2, that should be 10-9 for Albino. So Mado now in a big deficit. And Mado, unbeaten in his professional career, is coming off a 4-round unanimous decision win over Ramil Gusi. That was in January of this year. Right hand scored there by Albino, almost dropped Mado. And that was a picture-perfect right hand. When the opening presented itself, tumama yung magandang kanan galing kay Albino. So round number 2, another big one for Albino. Tingnan natin kung Jelly Boy Mado can recoil and regroup. He needs a knockdown. Remember, only 4 rounds sa laban na to. Anytime you score a knockdown, that's a very big advantage. Mado has to show more aggressiveness. He's got to step in and put Albino on the defensive. Shot to the body there by Albino, and then a shot to the head. Mado scoring. Same with Albino. Nice left hand coming from Albino. And again, he puts Mado on the defensive. Mado putting his head down. He's got to move in. He can't wait. Swinging away at Albino. Now he wants to turn this into a toe-to-toe slugfest. That's Mado. He's closing the gap. He's coming closer to Albino. But when he does, he's got to keep throwing those punches, letting his hands go. Ito na. Sunod-sunod na yung mga tama. Yung mga suntok galing kay Mado. Could there be signs here that Albino is slowing down and tiring out? For Mado, he's facing a big deficit. Left hand by Mado, but that defense ni Albino is there to stop any sort of impact. Left jab from Albino, and then Mado ties him up along the ropes. Walang consistency yung atake ni Mado. As we were saying, he's got to come closer, narrow the gap, throw those punches from the inside. But Albino keeping him away with that left hand. That left jab has been working. Again, the left jab coming from Albino. Less than a minute to go in this round. Mado's tried to take the initiative. But Albino is there, moving around, throwing that left jab, and fending off Mado. Hirap dito si Mado, no? Wala siyang range. And certainly outsized by the much taller Albino. Albino's record 1-1. As we said kanina, galing siya sa talo. A unanimous decision loss. But previous to that, a rousing win over Derwin Meneses, where he had Meneses down in round number 1 and 2 times in round number 2. And that was a dominant win by Albino in his professional debut. Okay, that's the end of round number 3. And still awaiting Mado's resurgence. So far, it's been a wipeout here for Kenneth Albino from the Peñalosa gym.
Thank you, sir.
And there's Albino making good use of his size. 5'7" po siya. 5'3" naman po si Jellyboy Mado. And ito po ang punch of the round. Panuuli po natin. Left hand scored by Mado as he comes charging in. Yun ang sinasabi natin na kailangan niyang gawin. Put pressure on Albino, narrow the gap, and move in closer. But madulas din si Albino eh. Hindi din nagpapasuntok. And if his back is on the ropes, he knows that he needs to move away from Jellyboy Mado. Okay, round number 4 coming up. This is the last round. Magkakaalaman na dito. Number Albino scored that knockdown in round number 1. Mado has to triple his efforts in this round to try to get this victory.
No pushing.
He needs to put Albino down, that's for sure. Jellyboy Mado from Kambal Kamao Gym, Lipa. Mado's cornerman Jeffrey Oñate. You remember, of course, Oñate. He fought as a featherweight from 1993 to 2007. That's 14 years as a pro. And one of the fighters that he faced was a 3-division world champion, Jorge Linares of Venezuela. He fought him in 2006 in Tokyo. Now po si Jeffrey Oñate, who was in the corner of Jellyboy Mado. Albino appears to be content in resting on his big advantage, on his big cushion, buoyed by that first round knockdown. And both fighters just going through the motions now. Walang masyadong umaatake dito. We're in round number 4. Patapos na ang ating laban. A nice connection there by Mado, the right hand that got through the defense ni Albino. And then now, Mado's charging in, which is certainly what he should have done right from the start. And more pressure, more punches as he comes moving in. Albino not throwing too many punches now. There's a left jab coming from Albino. Albino looks like he's coasting. He knows that he's way ahead on points. Mado showing signs of aggressiveness dito. But Albino's doing the right thing and just tying him up, wasting away the seconds hanggang mag-final bell. And there's that left jab again once more from Kenneth Albino, scoring twice with that left jab, throwing it again. And now you see Albino's mouth is wide open. And you can see that his work rate has gone down. He has slowed down. But that hasn't given Mado a clear path to show more aggressiveness dito, no? Because pagpasok niya, biglang nandun yung left jab ni Albino. Oh! Another knockdown! Just when he said that Albino's work rate was going down, but Mado came charging in. And when you do that, you open yourself to a counterattack. And it's over. It's over. With just a few seconds left to end the fight, Kenneth Albino scoring a big knockout. Mado left everything to chance. And he knew he needed to score a knockout to win. So, pinasukan niya si Albino. And a devil-may-care attitude on his part, but he went for broke. Either he would score a big punch or he would get hit by a big punch. Ang nangyari po, si Kenneth Albino found the right antidote and used his power, his size, his strength to score a knockout close to the final bell of this 4-round encounter. Kenneth Albino with a beautiful knockout. Ito, makita natin, Yung right hand salubong. And nandun si Mado, he was right there. He was a standing target. And he was going for broke. And Mado going down, and his head actually hitting the canvas, so we hope he's okay. His eyes are wide open. And then he tried to get up, but he just couldn't beat the count. And referee Gerald Basig scoring 10, counting out Jelly Boy Mado. And here we go with the official time from ring announcer Bobby Mondehar.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 2 minutes and 59 seconds in the fourth round. Winner by knockout, Kenneth Albino. Albino.
Kalahin nyo mga kaibigan, 1 second left before the end of this fight. At napuruhan ni Albino si Jelly Boy Mado, who was going for broke, looking for a knockout.
Don Arguelles.
Albino actually was content to just coast and breeze to end the fight. He had a big advantage. He scored a knockdown in the first round, but the opportunity presented itself. Lumapit si Mado. He was throwing punches. Yun! Tinamaan siya ni Albino, knockout with 1 second to go in the fight. Albino scoring a sensational KO victory to raise his record to 2-1. That's the first knockout of his career. Ito po yung first round knockdown. And that punch ended round number 1 that almost brought Mado down once more. And then a big right hand coming from Albino. He was just having his way because he was punching downwards because of his big height advantage. Pero Mado tried to be like a toy bulldog. Maliit siya, like Domi Ursua. And he tried to push the fight towards Albino. And then Albino finding the opportunity to score a knockout, getting his hand raised by referee Gerald Basig. Sensational. 1 second to go before the end of the fight. Naka-score pa na knockout si Kenneth Albino. Fourth round KO over Jelly Boy Mado.